This next one, Matthew, is for you. Sean Tucker, 73% available. He's still out there everywhere.
The Tuckler, the Tuck Daddy.
The Tuck Daddy.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker Kraft can't use it anymore, so we might as well pass it on to Sean Tucker.
He's not dead. He's not dead. Tucker Kraft will return.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he'll come back next year.
He's leasing the nickname.
Yeah,
okay.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
LeBron goes out for LeBron's out with the back. There has to be a new king. No, he gets the name back as soon as he comes
Who's
back.
the new King James?
No, stop it. No, that's different. When Tucker Kraft has won like 4 MVPs and 5 Super Bowls, then we can talk.
Okay.
Stop it. That's LeBron James, proud fantasy life investor you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Does he know?
Making his return tonight.
Can I tell you a real story?
King James Cook, for now, until LeBron's out. James Cook is King James.
Yeah,
Stop
like
it.
That. He's King James for
giving out
12
nicknames.
hours before LeBron comes back against the Jazz tonight.
And can I tell you a real story real quickly?
I would love this.
Because you're like, does he know?
Yeah, we're going to ask that every time.
No. This is a true story. 100% true story, which I think is funny. I didn't know. No, in all seriousness. So Maverick Carter is the CEO of Spring Hill and everything that he is LeBron James' business partner, very famously, right? And so Maverick is who I deal with, obviously. And so, I know Maverick pretty well. And so, but I was doing at the beginning of the year for the DraftKings, they had me interview LeBron James. LeBron and I did that touchdown parlay. We did a promo shoot. And so I texted Mav and I said, I have an awkward question to ask, but I'm interviewing LJ on Sunday. Does he know we're in business together? Because honestly, LeBron James he's a billionaire. Outside of the field, a court, I should say, he has so many interests and so many things. Like, and we're a relatively small company compared to, like, he owns a part of the Red Sox, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, right, seriously. And so, but Matt was like, yeah, no, you're 100%. Like, LeBron got a choice to choose who he like DraftKings presented him with options, and
Chose you.
Chose me.
That
And
might be
Maverick was like, yeah, no, he's aware that we're in business together. He knows about the deal, and
I think the real takeaway.
That was a big, So the answer to that question is yes, which I literally didn't know for the longest time.
Understandable.
My real takeaway is that you call LeBron James LJ. Which I'm unfamiliar with.
Which I think you call Lawrence that sometimes too.
Sometimes.
So Lawrence,
Lamar
LeBron
Jackson
James.
as well.
Yeah.
What LJ?
It feels weird to text like his best friend saying, "Hey, does LeBron James know?" Like, I don't know. It just like
Mr. LeBron.
That's how.
Mr. LeBron.
I'm probably revealing too much, but when that's how he's referred to me. When people refer about him to me, they call him LJ. So anyway, whatever. King James is and will always be the king. This is a pro King James table and show. So yes.
So Sean Tucker, over 20 touches last week. The problem is,
I thought it was an interesting story.
It was. I liked it.
Sure.
It was good. Very good. The problem is, Matthew, this is the Kenneth Gainwell combo a little bit all over again. If Bucky Irving plays, does Sean Tucker even see any touches?
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. We just don't know. And the other challenge here is you're going against a Rams defense that is fantastic. They allow the third fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs this season. The Rams have been just so good. And so Tucker, who was so amazing, but we talked about him yesterday. Should he be picked up? Of course he should be, because there's a scenario where Bucky Irving doesn't come back this week, right? He was limited in practice last week. Seems like they're sort of ramping him up. I feel like he does just because the Bucs need a win. Like, this is an important game for Tampa Bay against they still have a lead in the division, but this is an important game for the Buccaneers. But there's a chance that Bucky Irving does not come back. Yep. And so, I don't know how you put that toothpaste back in the tube, seeing what you've seen from Sean Tucker. Like, again, he's been trending up in terms of his usage with the Buccaneers. This is one of the reasons why he was on our show last week. We talked about Sean Tucker in this show last week, saying he got 44% of the Buccaneers running back touches. He's continuing to increase his workload, and so it's a tough one here. I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't blow all my fab unless we got word between now and you have to put in your waiver bids, and I think that's unlikely, that Irving's definitely out, because there's a scenario where all three are active, and you're not going to want to start any of them until you know kind of how this, because it could be a three-headed running back by committee.
You probably have to have Bucky if you're bidding any fab on Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it could be a total sunk cost in 2 days. And maybe it's not, but if you have Bucky, at least there's some kind of logical path to getting production.
I don't want to go crazy for it, but but one thing I might say is that if he's out there on the waiver wire and I'm like, you know what, I don't need him, but you know who does? the guy 2 spots ahead of me who has Bucky Irving on his team, like sometimes the best offense is the best defense. I have no problem, especially if the trade deadline hasn't passed in your league, grabbing Sean Tucker and trying to trade him to whoever has Bucky Irving. And you don't even have to ask a lot, but get something for him. Tucker's too good, and this offense is too explosive for Tucker not to be rostered. But I also want to lower expectations because I think there's a scenario where he's not usable this week.
Yeah, it is
because again, if Irving's,
It's crazy the psychology of wanting the backup running back to the injury-prone guy that you have and how people overpay for that. I have Zach Charbonnet in a league, and the Ken Walker manager is just so desperate to get Zach Charbonnet. There's just something mentally about just wanting the comfort of knowing that if the injury-prone guy does go down. But I agree. The good thing as well, this week is tough against the Rams. They're touchdown dogs now, by the way, which is not a lot of respect for Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles and co. In LA. But after that, Arizona, New Orleans, Atlanta. I think they have another game against New Orleans after that. I think they still got to play they don't have another game against New Orleans, but they play the Panthers twice with the NFC South on the line. Blockbusters coming up in the final month of the season. So very favourable schedule for Sean Tucker after this week. So he does have huge ceiling if Bucky Irving does get re-injured, which does seem pretty possible.
Feels like next summer we're talking about starting running back Sean Tucker and Tyler Algier somewhere else. They're both free agents.
Yeah,
I think both those guys are going to get a serious look to at least compete to start somewhere.
Yeah.
They're that talented.
I mean, I don't know that they get paid,
No,
right?
no running back. Look at Rico Dowdle.
That's right.
They get a 1 year, $2.5 million deal.
Yeah. So they won't get. But I agree with you. They're too good. Like
to be second, third string kind of guys.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if they move on from Rachaad White. Because they were using Tucker out of the backfield too.
Yeah, that would be the savvy play.
Right?
I want to be there for another decade.
Think so? He can never get. He's like. Yeah. He's the Joe Flacco running back. Like he's just never.
Yeah.
You can just. You can
he's
never
like
kill
rich man Samaje Perine. He'll just always be around.
Always there.
Yeah.
So that's true. I mean, Samaje Perine's going to play another 4 years in the NFL.
They gave the ball to Samaje Perine with the Super Bowl on the line.
It's unbelievable.
Speaking of crowded backfields,
that's why they lost it, by the way.
Yeah.
They lost. Don't get me started.
I don't got to go there today.
Wow.
Bhayshul Tuten, 70% available. Some would say scootin' Tuten before he got hurt. Only a 32% snap rate because of that, but it felt like, Matthew, before he got banged up, they wanted him involved heavily, especially across the 50.
Prior to leaving the game with that ankle injury, he out-touched Travis Etienne 15-12. Over the last 3 games, he's gotten 12 red zone touches. He scored in 2 of those games. To your point, right? It looks like they've sort of noticed what we all have since the preseason, like, no, there's a burst to Bhayshul Tuten that Travis Etienne, who's no slouch himself. It's not like Etienne is bad.
Tuten's an elite athlete.
Yes.
Though. And Etienne was, I think he's, a little step back.
He's been banged up. He's taken some hits.
Yeah.
The argument, the anti-Bhayshul Tuten argument from a pro perspective, Connor, you correct me if I'm wrong, but was just like, he was unbelievable at Virginia Tech, right? It was the fumbles.
Small and fumbles.
Right. But those 2 things have not manifested themselves at the NFL level yet, in terms of issues. And so then you're like the size and the speed and not the size, but the speed and the burst. Like he can go between the tackles. He obviously can be powerful in the passing game as well. Like explosive guy.
We're seeing more teams take chances on players like this. The Dolphins nailed it with Achane, which is like the pinnacle. You want to be careful with that, but the Ravens want that from Keaton Mitchell. Jacksonville wants that from Bhayshul Tuten. R.J. Harvey is kind of like that with the Broncos. Smaller backs are finding their ways and getting bigger roles. He's such a dynamic player.
Not that Bucky Irving
is not the athlete,
not the explosiveness, but like again, smaller guy that can, Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I think as well, it got a little, swept under the rug is the right word, but so much other stuff was happening on Sunday that I don't think it was really being magnified that the Jags beat the Chargers 35-6.
Yes.
Like the Chargers are 3-point favorites on the road in that game. I thought the Chargers would win. I thought the Jags looked pretty done after that Texans game and their form they carried into the bye before that. But that was very encouraging for Jacksonville to be able to, the Chargers don't have a bad defense at all. And the Jags did largely whatever they wanted.
Strange team.
Very strange team. This team beat the Chiefs in primetime, got blown out 35-7 by the Rams without Puka Nacua, gave up a
loss to the Raiders.
Should have lost to the Raiders. Easily. They gave up, a 19-point lead to the Texans? Like a complete mess all around. But they do have upside. And also, I still think Liam Cohen is a really good offensive mind.
I agree.
And as they get acclimatized to that system, there is scope that maybe they could ignite in the second half. I'm still skeptical because Trevor Lawrence, they've had such bad moments this year, but there is upside.
He's not going to get anywhere near winning the award. But Liam Cohen has done a great job coaching this team, given what the talent level was and all the injuries they've dealt with, right? He doesn't have the that team has overperformed expectations significantly.
6-4.
Yeah, I mean, so, right.
Wazinator asked, who's a more elite handcuff, Bhayshul Tuten or Kenneth Gainwell?
I'm going to say it's Bhayshul Tuten. Obviously, it depends if you had Jalen Warren on your team, but not Travis Etienne, then, so I think it's an interesting question here. Handcuff suggests, and I don't love the word, I love insurance back, right? But in terms of insurance back, it just, which one of the starters do you have? But in terms of, if you're saying elite, in terms of upside, like Kenneth, if you knew Jalen Warren was out for the year, to be like, Kenneth Gainwell is going to be a solid RB2 the rest of the way. Yep. But if you knew Travis Etienne were out for the year, or for whatever reason, Bhayshul Tuten has the chance to be a league winner.
Yep. Right.
Like he could be. So, I mean, I think it's Tuten, and I don't think it's particularly close. Tuten has an upside and explosiveness that just you'll never get from Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, shoot for the stars, Schwarzenegger. Home runs, not singles.
Yeah,
especially this time of year.
Yeah,
right. You're not trying to stay afloat,
no,
probably.
But again, if you have Jalen Warren, like Gainwell's more important to you.
Yes.
But just those two guys in terms of, I guess, elite, I'm interpreting that as explosiveness here as well. And so we need Tuten to come back. Obviously from injury. We'll see how serious that ankle injury is as the week goes on, but it's just worth noting that he's getting more work. Seems like he's somewhat overtaken this backfield, and it's a nice matchup with Arizona as the Cardinals are bottom 10 in terms of most fantasy points allowed to opposing running backs. You see some other deeper league guys here, Connor.
Yeah, so to recap the top guys, Emmanuel Wilson, Kenneth Gainwell, Sean Tucker, Bhayshul Tuten. The deeper league guys are Chris Rodriguez Jr., Devin Singletary, who is obviously splitting the work with Tyrone Tracy, but still heavily involved. Tyler Algier, that we mentioned, very touchdown dependent. Tajay Spears, it's required for us to mention him on the show.
Drake London out, we'll talk about it later. Like, they could go and Penix out, they could just say, like, every play's a handoff, Kirk Cousins. We know you can't throw.
Yeah.
So Algier could get 15 touches against the Saints.
Probably in their best interest. Bam Knight with the Cardinals. Obviously, Amari DiMercato is hurt, and we don't know the status of that backfield. It feels like
What
we just
backfield?
keep defaulting to Bam Knight.
Yeah, we assume it's going to be Bam.
Bam
we
Knight?
assume it's going to be Bam Knight, who's been somewhat productive. And then Jaleel McLaughlin, Denver, on a bye this week. But it did seem like, again, we talked about it yesterday. They're not giving this full workload to R.J. Harvey. Now, maybe out of the bye, they will, they'll work with R.J. Harvey on some of the pass pro stuff. But just feels like, McLaughlin, got the goal line touches. McLaughlin's going to be in that mix.
Can't believe the Broncos are 4 games clear of the Chiefs in the division. It's unbelievable. They're 9-2. I'm not sure if they're any good or not.
They find a way every fourth quarter.
Credit to them.
I told you guys, at the beginning of the year, I was talking with somebody in the Chiefs organization, and we were just talking about the season in general. And I mentioned I like the Chargers this year. This is before Rashawn Slayton got hurt and before Joe Alton, their entire offensive line went down. But I was like, I think the Chargers are kind of interesting this year. And the guy from the Chiefs says, we agree, but we're worried about the Broncos. We think Bo Nix is legit, and that defense is as good as anyone in the NFL. Like,
well, he was right about the second
50-50.
part. Yeah, 1 for 2.
Yeah. The record is what they are.
Bo Nix has found a way in the fourth quarter.
He has. He's had some inconsistencies and some second-year growing pains, but they're in the mix for the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah,
they are. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.